Hi, Music Express viewers. Recently, I had a fantastic experience. I toured the Conn Selmer factory where some of the best brass instruments in the world are made. The factory is very noisy, so I'm going to be your guide and explain some of the process you're going to see. So let's get going. Hi everybody and welcome to Music Express. Today we are in Elkhart, Indiana at the Conn Selmer factory where they make Vincent Bach trumpets and trombones. And my good friend Ted Wagner is here. We're going to take a tour of this whole factory and find out just how they make trumpets and trombones.
Absolutely. And
we have special guests which make this even more wonderful of a trip. We are going to be joined by the fabulous Canadian brass, who don't seem to be one bit interested. Hey, you guys, put down your work, put away your iPads. We're going to get some new instruments today. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the world-famous Canadian brass, and they are going to introduce themselves. Go around the table and tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Chris, and I play the trumpet.
I'm Caleb. I'm the other trumpet player of the group.
I'm Eric, and I play the French horn.
I'm Achilles, and I play the trombone.
And Chuck, tuba.
Let's join the Canadian brass and tour this Conn Selmer factory. Come on, let's go.
Let's do it.
As we started the tour, Ted took us to the drawing station. Ted explained that what they do at this part of the manufacturing process is not drawing anything like drawing with crayons, but taking pieces of tubing and then cutting the tubing off as a smaller section, and then putting the metal material in on a tube to draw this piece of brass out into a long slide, in this case, for a trombone. For a trombone? Achilles, that's your thing.
That's fantastic that we have a trombone slide.
Treble hand slide.
Think you can play it yet?
I'm not sure, maybe.
Maybe once they stretch it out. Ted explained that this metal is nickel silver and that it's going very quickly through the machine. Now he's going to form the stocking. The stocking keeps the air from escaping out of the hand slide. He's taken this nickel tube and with that machine, he's made it much larger.
This became this.
Can you play it now?
A little bit.
If you had a mouthpiece. Next, we move to the trumpet bell maker station. I asked Ted to explain this part of the process. At this station, they are making Bach Stradivarius trumpet bells. Ted introduced us to Michael Jackson. Yeah, that's his real name, the craftsman bell maker at Bach. Ted showed us that Bach instruments use raw brass. Then he's forming the bell using that anvil, trying to get the two sides together. Using a wooden club, he's pounding the raw brass down and putting it into shape. Can you play it yet?
Well, that's the best sound I've heard in that shape forever.
Next, Ted took us to a very different station. Here, a master craftsman named Michael is going to take that bell and he's going to apply a brazing paste. A brazing paste is sort of like glue. It's the compound that will hold the bell together. I was astounded that a trumpet would be held together with glue. But Ted explained that brazing paste isn't glue, but it's actually a metal. And when it melts, you'll never get that bell apart again. It was really, really hot over here at this station. Now I understood why we have our fancy glasses on. That was great. I'm not touching that. So you think you can play that one now?
I'm afraid to touch that.
That's a good idea.
It's a little warm right now.
It's really hot.
It's hot.
Hot. Well, he's a hot trumpet player. We'll wait. Next, we moved into a whole other part of the factory. Ted introduced us to Steve, and he's working on another bell. But this one is bigger than a trumpet.
Right, it's a flugelhorn bell. It's a little bit bigger. It's in the same key, but it's bigger than a trumpet.
Steve explained that he was going to do the last process, spin the bell down, and cut off the end, and wipe all the grease out, put a wire inside of it, and close it up. This is just about the last phase of building this instrument. Steve tells us that first he has to apply a lubricant, so when he spins the bell down, it's nice and smooth. He bends it up lightly, very lightly. Then he works to get the burrs out. Finally, he turns that brass over and over again. This is the hardest part. Steve must use a device called a flat tool.
Brass over, this is the hardest part. Get that hooked over. That's called a flat tool. Okay, that's perfect.
Next, Steve marks the wire, and then he cuts it off. Steve makes it just the right size to fit around this rim.
I'm going to cut that off.
To make it just the right size to fit around this particular rock.
Okay.
Steve tells us that he wants it a little tight. When he tightens it down with his flat tool, the wires just start to pull together. He carefully turns it over. It looks like it's all in the wrist.
Carefully turn it over. It's all in your wrist.
Wow. Well, you're a real artist. Finally, Steve begins to close it up and wipe out the valve. That is beautiful. Can you play it now? We don't need no stinking valves. Fantastic. Thank you, Steve. You're a real artist. Beautiful. Next, we move to the polish room. It's gotten even louder in here, but Ted introduces us to Chris. In the polish room, Chris is going to take trumpet bells and polish them and shine them up a bit. Chris shows us how a bell transitions from looking frazzled and then looking much smoother. On the machine, there's a very fine-grade sandpaper. When he's finished polishing the inside, he starts working on the outside, and the metal gets really, really hot. At this stage, the polishing tools use an even finer grade of polishing materials. Finally, as Chris finished the polishing process, the bell now begins to look like a beautiful trumpet. Well, that brings us to the end of part 1 of the Brass Factory Tour here at the Conn Selmer Factory in Elkhart, Indiana. Join me for part 2 when we will see the Canadian brass actually play new brass instruments as they are completed on the production line. For Music Express, this is your friend John Jacobson. Bye for now.